Anyways, looks like we're already going. Got a bit of a delay, and so it just sort of puts me live without me clicking go live. So I guess we're live. There we go. Anyway, I mute this mic. When it's not in use, you can hear it humming, but for some reason that one hums. Just a random stream to practice out some classical stuff that I'm doing for a show on the 5th, so next Saturday. Yeah, I'll be practicing for a single performance so far on the 5th. There's one in January, but yeah, I'm not touring until they switch the whole world policy thing, because I don't want to be somewhere and then all of a sudden it's like you need, who knows, a head transplant to leave the country. So forget it. Not until they sort that shit out. And it also helps if they help fund the travel expenses, because those have gone up. I've done tours where I'm driving around and I'm like 6-7 hour drives, and then there's like 10 people at the show, which is fine. But yeah, it was kind of disheartening after a while. Okay, I keep going here. See, that buzzes this mic. I have to mute it. Paganini Sonata Number 1, Opus 3 Number 1, originally for violin and guitar, and that's an arrangement for just one guitar by Manuel Berrueco. He was the first one to play that piece. I learned that when I was about 17. I was really inspired to play it when I heard him do it. Hello from Kazakhstan, right on. Let's see here. Right, Bad Cafe, where it goes a half step above. That's, I believe that's an appoggiatura, which is an accented dissonance resolving to the whatever the anticipated harmonious resolution. And that is a feature of romantic music, especially Paganini. Lithuania, Latvia, right on. France. All right, let me think here. I don't know, but the 25th Caprice doesn't exist. Detroit. Oh yeah. For improve your picking. I'm trying to do that all the time. How do I approach it? When you practice it, think of it like practicing everything as like a Tai Chi movement, slow and controlled, as though you've zoomed in really far in Photoshop and you're correcting pixels. Jack Daniels, thank you very much, man. All right, so what was I going to do next? Yeah, I got the music for this one here, just in case I forget some of it. Let's see if I can do it. Now that's an arrangement I found on the net, and I tweaked the fingerings. Originally in C minor. I think it works better in A minor on the guitar, because C minor is kind of an awkward key to play in. There is an arrangement in D minor, but it doesn't have the same kind of bass note accompaniment. Now, where's K11? Here you are. Just be sure here. Oh yeah, there it is. Now, I'm pretty sure I got this one memorized, but sometimes there's like one part in there, especially when I play a stack of them together. Okay. So this is an Alhambra. What's the make again? A Menguel and Marguerite. Alhambra. Vixie. No, I don't use the Pro Pick finger picks because they started to... I don't know, here's the deal with them. Is in order to get the sound that I was playing with at the time, in order to get that sound, it required a very kind of fixed, stagnant sort of position in order to really thump the strings and get that sort of precise attack that I wanted to get. Because if you take a classical approach, you don't get as much control and attack out of them. And so just the angle that I was playing with them at, the speed at which I was using them, it kind of just made my forearm feel kind of weird. And eventually it felt like I had these weird prosthetics on that I couldn't control properly. And then I just ended up going back to, I guess, the classical fingernail technique that I had originally played with before. And I'm glad I learned classical before, because I had something to go on, or something to go back to. I played Bangor Integration Therapy about 3 times live, and it was in like 2016. And I haven't found a way to do it on nylon string guitar that works. I could, when I switch guitars later, I could probably like, I don't know, maybe pull up the tab and do a bit of the riffs, but I can say that it's not performance ready because I don't know, I haven't really practiced it in a long time. Because normally what I would do is I would have the finger picks and then the thumb pick, and then it goes into this metal riff where then I turn the thumb pick on its side and use it as a flat pick for that metal part. How you doing, Adam? All right, so that was K11. That's one of the ones that I play. And I want to do 175. Sorry about that buzz. That's only when the vocal mic's on. It picks up the vibration of the computer tower on the computer desk that the mic arm is clamped to. But for some reason this mic doesn't, and I don't know why. All right, so this one's 4 pages. Okay. 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 175. right, so like we got a Ranjit Singh. Love it. Do look at some Indian guitar music. Love from India. Do look at Tushar Lal. All right, I'll check him out. Thanks for that, Ranjit. I didn't ignore you. Don't worry. There's like a timer thing where it's like that. The super chat stays up for a certain amount of time, and so I figured I could finish the piece and then shout out to you. But Tushar Lal, I'll check it out. So that's 175. Scarlatti. It's I really like that one. John Williams plays it really, really well. John Williams. Like when I first started that one, I normally don't look at the sheet music as a backup. And I found myself tripping up because I'm like, I don't really play looking at this. So in some cases it works against me to like look at stuff when I'm used to really playing it and knowing it without the sheet music, because then my mind's like divided in this strange way. So sheet music is only helpful if I like know it but not totally well. Eugene, I remember that show. It was like some kind of community center type gig. No, not really. I mean, not since the Nonsense hit. I haven't been touring, but I mean, it's just I've explained it before, but it has to do with the algorithm coming online somewhere around 2012. Prior to that, I guess independent artists had a better time using Facebook to promote their shows. They would like have 3 or 4 guitar players go on tour, and they would just post on their Facebook, and you could actually get a decent outcome with that. Also, the fact that with the first couple of Candy Rat tours, we were all kind of riding on the coattails of Andy McKee's success with drifting. And so that's partially why there was a really good outcome in 2011, and it went down in 2012 in terms of attendance. And then after that, with the algorithm, everyone was slamming and plastering Facebook with ads to come to the show, and then that they made it more difficult to kind of get the word out. And then even if you paid you would have to invest money in order to tour now successfully. It would require an investor. It doesn't work if you just go and book the shows and just hope that the money will come back and a little bit more on top of what it costs to do the whole thing, because then it just you need to be you need to be trending quite heavily in order to fill rooms just as like a solo guitar player. And the stuff that I do is just not it's not like the stuff that gets super famous. It's like with it's just my own thing. I don't even try to make things palatable for any marketing. I just I record whatever I like and play whatever I like pretty much, and just accept the consequences of that. And I enjoy it. Now where's 380? Here it is. Sometimes there's a part in 380 that falls apart on me, but I don't know, it depends. Depends if I start thinking too much when I'm playing. Yeah, no, I just play whatever I like to play and go with that, and hey, whatever happens, happens. And even if that's partially why I started doing a lot of YouTube stuff, is because some of the tours I did, like 2015, I did 3.5 months on the road alone, driving, selling CDs, loading up. I've done 3 European tours entirely alone, where it's like some days going like 3 days without sleep just because that's how it went. It is quite taxing on the body. You can end up pushing yourself into for example, if you overwork to the point, past the point where your body warns you and says, all right, we should cut that out, you'll just end up, your body will kick you out of the driver's seat, and you'll get so tired you won't be able to do anything. Or I don't know, the body has a way of rebelling against you pushing it past, it's an intelligent survival machine. So if I'm doing something that would likely harm my survival, there's this weird circuit that intervenes that kicks me out of the control seat if I don't listen to those warnings. I ran into a couple of those doing those tours because I was doing the Hercules approach, right? Like the stoic kind of, don't care, come hell or high water. And it works for a while, but eventually you just end up getting nervous system anomalies that come about. Like if you push your body too hard and work. And so that's what I was doing before. So that's one of the reasons I don't tour like that anymore. And also because, like I said, it requires an investor. You need someone to invest in the plane tickets, the hotel, the driving. And I used to do all the driving myself. But like I said, There's nothing crazier than that when you're literally doing all of the jobs on a tour. It's really something. Like, I'm glad I did it because it had a hell of a time. But man, it breaks you. Yeah, exactly. See, I was doing all the driving. Like, it would have been amazing to have a driver, but then it just it goes from there. It's like, then do you want someone to sell the CDs or roadie? Then you're like paying everyone, and then with the amount of money, yeah, I mean, like, you'd have to be like the most famous one going in order to draw those sorts of numbers. And because I play no games, I don't even enter into that arena. I just do whatever. Some people were like, you should have immediately done more, I don't know, I should have immediately gone in towards like trance music exclusively, taking the time to success as like a hint to go in that direction and maximize revenue. And then I just did the other thing. I went into acoustic metal, and people were like, what? What's that? I was like, so yeah, I mean, yeah. I guess I'm stubborn that way. I'll just do whatever I want to play. I was inspired to do Scarlatti sometime in late 2019. And I spent the past couple of years trying to really get that stuff down because it's among my favorite stuff to play. Filet mignon, how you doing? From Ottawa. Okay. Here we go. That was, yes, 380. That's another one that I think John Williams popularized, as far as I know. Let me just take a look here. I back up a little bit to see what people are saying. Do I still row? I do have the rowing machine, but I've been running instead. Yeah, but I still have it. I row on rainy days as like a backup. Argentina, Siegfried, how you doing? Danny Gautreau. Oh, in Moncton, right, in a couple hours, two hours down the road. Opeth and Meshuggah. I'm more Children of Bodom and Unleashed. Actually, my MP3 player has Annihilator, Children of Bodom, Unleashed, Cannibal Corpse from the Evisceration Plague album, and some Scarlatti, Halloween, such as Future World, I Want Out, and I really like the album Better Than Raw, and that was one of the best album covers, so I like some Halloween, not all of it, but yeah. And what else? A little bit of Hypocrisy. I like the song Roswell 47, so yeah. I'm into, like Children of Bodom is probably my favorite band. I think so, because like I listen to them quite a lot. But yeah, and his writing actually influenced some of my acoustic metal in terms of like, because the chord progressions he uses, he kind of draws from Bach. You can hear that on the Something Wild album, but you can also hear like Northern European folk direct influence in there as well, which is what gives it its charm. Like with metal, there's like a series of chord progressions in metal that you can't really deviate from. So for like folk derivative metal, or metal that's influenced by folk music, there's a couple different chord progressions. Like this one, like the 1, 6, 7. And there's a couple others, but this pretty much that defines the genre. You can't go too far out of that or else it loses the sound. With death metal, it's a bit different. It's like, I don't know, what half, whole, diminished type stuff. And you can get a bit uglier harmonically and get away with it in death metal. But with melodic metal, it's pretty much, it becomes difficult to get inventive with it after a while because there's only so many hooks. And then at some point you got to you got to take some time off and reformulate, because there's only so many hooks that you can do. Yeah, I have a one GBD guy. I do have a one guitar version of Winter by the Sea that I'll play when I'm done this section here. Yeah, Blood and Ice. Yeah, I was kind of noodling around in open C, and then it just occurred to me like I could, and this is responding to Cyanide. Hold on. Yeah, I would basically be playing with the pick, and then I was like, wait a second here, we can do this like, pluck with the M finger and then kind of pluck with the other finger. That's another tuning, but you get the idea. So Bad Cafe is like tritones are just totally like they're consonant, in other words. They're no longer dissonant to the ear. Favorite chord progression, I'd have to say I guess what you would find in melodic power metal, the 1, 6, 7, or the variations within there, where it's like those main chords for sure. But like I said, it becomes a challenge. Like metal bands can't like do 2 albums a year, because it's an interesting dilemma that emerges where the listener, what they really like is what those chord progressions are evoking, and then the way of you have to get inventive in terms of how you use the simplistic chord progressions to, convey something that's already kind of been done, but you kind of just reinvent it in a so to speak. And the problem is that you can only do that so many times before there's, the listener will be satisfied that they're getting the same old thing that they wanted again and again. But then at the same time, they'll say, well, it sounds like something I've already heard. But at the same time, if you deviate from that chord progression or those series of chord progressions that define the genre, then what ends up happening is the listener's like, oh, well, now you're doing something totally different. And it really comes down to what I think I've discovered, which is that, with the exception of jazz and its derivatives, each genre has a pool of chord progressions that it can draw from, and it has to stay within them in order for the sound of the genre to work and be effective. Otherwise, it will be interpreted by the listener as a deviation from the genre if they depart too far from the accepted chord progressions within it. So yeah. The song that I hate to play the most is the one that I'm not ready to play but have to play, and then it starts going off the rails when I'm playing it. And then I'm like, because I mean, you can't help but the adrenaline starts coming out a bit. Like, it's hard not to care if it goes off the rails, right? So yeah, those are the ones I hate to play. Or like maybe things for the first time. But then if it goes well, then I will feel better about it afterwards. But during, it's kind of like threading a needle while riding a fast-paced horse. You know, it's like it can go wrong. Yeah, Kalma's a good band, and that's Filet Mignon. Yeah, no, I like Swamp Howl. I mean, they have their latest album. What is it? The first song on the album is called Blood Ran Cold. It's a good album. I saw them in Toronto in like 2011 or something. Let's see here. Your entire life to write your first album. Yeah, no, that was a rush job. I mean, I was just like downing Red Bull energy drinks and didn't really have too much experience with the editing process. So there's all sorts of things I left in there that probably wouldn't have. But yeah, it was a very hyper album. People say that some people I've met say they run to that album, which I can understand. Yes, I did have a desire to join. This is Chotuko Cayenne. Chotoku. Okay, yes. I did want to do an electric metal band, I think, but I don't know. I only had ideas that came about an acoustic later on in life. When I was doing electric guitar when I was younger, I got caught in like these loops of licks where my mind, it was almost as though I couldn't get out of these boxes that I was practicing again and again. And so it just so turned out that I started doing it on acoustic. A lot of people ask me to play it on electric, but then there's another thing where it's like you have to do a lot of mastering. Like, you can't just plug in an electric guitar, record it, and then just mix it with the other stuff and export it. You need to master it, or else it just doesn't. It does, especially once you start throwing drum tracks in there. It's like it adds an extra layer where I have to pay an engineer to, like, I don't know, mix the stems or whatever. Advice for someone who skipped scales and theory in general. Over 13 years of playing Yaroslav. There are people who do it without that. It's not necessary, because some people play scales and theory and they know all of it, but then they just don't have, I guess, the creative spark, or they find difficulty doing that. It's hard to say. I mean, learn it if you want. I find that knowledge of intervals is helpful, so then you can write harmonies for what you're playing, and just knowledge of basic chord progressions, and maybe just how to modulate from one key to another and back again is sufficient to get you going. Jazz lick. No, I never really did the blues or the jazz thing. A bit of gypsy jazz, one song I did. Valse de Oiseau. Okay, now, what was on the list here? Let me just move this. Whoa. Okay, time to change tunings, I think. Okay, there's that in Sevilla. Okay. So in terms of someone's asking what my warm-up is, where is that? Let me see here. Siegfried, Karen, what's your routine now? I did warm up or to maintain fingers. Playing as though it's Tai Chi, and I took a lesson. I took a lesson with a classical guitar. I consider him as like a master classical guitarist. Teaches at the Conservatoire in Quebec. I went to his place in early 2020. And his advice to me was that when you're practicing, think of it as increasing the resolution to the highest degree possible, where you have all the time in the world between fingers from this position and to the next, and in order to correct or to make the flow between the movements as relaxed and concise as possible. He says, think of it as Tai Chi rather than karate. So rather than going from one position, boom, to the next, he recommends everything slow and controlled, and to think of your practicing as doing Tai Chi, which I do now. So for example, a piece that I'm learning right now that it's not really ready to play, K55 by Scarlatti. I'll just start off playing the intro part really slow. And then the next part, I'll play it really slow. Anyway, the idea is that I will just do even slower than that, and I'll just do it for like an hour. Because then if you're programming the motions into your mind in slow and controlled jumps of movement from one position to the next, it's the most efficient way to program a movement, because you're sort of stretching out time into a larger unit. And so then when you play it faster, your mind has all of those movements in between, the motion in between the jumps, and it has been programmed. It's hard to explain, but yes. So probably I would, when I was learning it, would actually be this slow. And so forth. So think of it as Tai Chi, not karate, because he says that when I was practicing, I was too like zap 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 from one chord progression to the next, or one finger position to the next. And he says that it's he said that he heard it from a teacher later in his life, in his 30s. He was like, nah, no one does it like that. He says, well, he was right, because he heard the same thing, which is that you play it like ridiculously slow. It's almost like if you were to, I said before, zoom in on a picture on Photoshop to like who knows how many magnifications, where it doesn't even look like a picture anymore. You're just kind of like brushing pixels, the details of pixels. So the next is, I'm probably going to do 477 by Scarlatti. Game Beat, how you doing from Russia? How you doing? Welcome. Yeah, so when it comes to Siegfried, so in terms of practice, just think of it as doing a Tai Chi class. And it actually takes more effort, because you're not reaching for, I guess, that successful feeling of playing the music. Like you're delaying the gratification. So you're not going directly to, we're playing the music at the tempo that it is, and I'm going to try to get there and shoot ahead as fast as I can to make that happen. You're kind of like, all right, we'll put that off into the future, and then we'll do this sort of trench work. The E string snapped earlier. That's why it's still going out a bit. All right, take a swig of water, and then we'll get going. Oh, because 360p, it's because I live in the country and I have 7 megabit DSL, and the upload stream is like really slow. I'm looking into getting Elon Musk's Starlink internet, and we'll see how that goes. But when I get that, apparently you can get outages depending on, like, because there are some trees in the area, and you need like apparently a pretty good viewing. No obstructions to the sky, in other words. I have a 2.7% obstruction rate, and maybe if I mount the antenna a little bit higher than me holding my phone to scan it, I might be able to bring that down to like 1.5, 2%, in which case I should be able to get like mostly good internet from Starlink with the odd interruption. So it would be like this, better quality, and then every now and then I drop out for 5 seconds, like once every 40 minutes. Wales, how you doing? Tony just started taking lessons again in person. Keep hitting plateaus. It sucks. Yeah, so plateaus, I attack those just by doing the Tai Chi practice. And then they slowly go away. But it's not like a quantum leap or anything. Let me just warm this one up a bit. Is it true that I think level 40 is one of the hardest? No, but it is sort of, right now it's kind of weird because I haven't played it in a long time. But when I devote myself to it, I can play it. K53 is a hard one to play. That either goes or it doesn't go. There's a part in the second half that kind of like sometimes can go off the rails because it's really busy. People have been asking about level 40, but maybe I'll put the time in to resurrect it. But I've been working so much on this particular set list that to like bring another song up to performance ready, it's like time and energy. Okay. Oh, Jason Becker tune. I did, what is it? Higher once. I can do it better though than I recorded it years ago, but I did one higher. And he actually gave me the sheet music for it when I visited him. I asked him about, can I arrange that? And then he printed it off for me. He got his parents to print it off, and I made an arrangement of it. So this is Scarlatti K477. I originally heard Fabio Zanon play this in the year 2000 or 2001, I think it was. The summer of 2001, there was a classical guitar camp in Quebec called Domaine Forget, and he gave a recital there, and I also did a couple master classes with him, and I saw him play this 477. Now, I took 2 lessons with him last year over the internet, and he's in Brazil. So it was cool to actually take lessons again with him 20 years later. And so he actually helped me with this arrangement. I showed him my arrangement, and he says, well, he showed me a couple of things with some fingerings and helped me out with it. Okay, 477. So I saw something at the corner of my eye there about the teacher in Brazil, Vixie Maria. It was Fabio Zanon. He's a very accomplished classical guitarist from Brazil, and I took a couple lessons with him last year. He was kind enough to take time out of his schedule. He's a busy concert performer, as well as he's a guest teacher at the Royal Academy. He has lots of students, and so I asked him to give me some advice on some of the Scarlatti I was playing. And so we did about 3 or 4 hours total of Skype lessons, and it was very helpful. But yeah, I have here. Let's see, fingernails. That's what I'm using here, as you can see. And I find it much easier to control these as opposed to the finger picks, which on one, like as I said before, on one hand they give you a sound that no one can get, hardly anyone, because not many people use them. On the other hand, they're limiting in the sense that if you have an arch in your wrist, normally like from a classical technique, they're pretty much difficult to control. They sound clumsy. If you flatten your wrist and you use a bit of palm mute, you get like tighter, quick sort of snapping control. But that technique isn't actually very good for the right hand and the forearm. You can get repetitive strain injury with that one just because of the tension that's involved in it. Tony, how did I get an independent thumb? I suppose just from, if you were to do classical, I guess it would be... So sort of like that, like just in alternating simple bass lines within arpeggiated chord sequences. Exercises like that are good for the independent thumb, so to speak. I don't have plans to do a show in Brazil, Barros. I'm not opposed to it, but we just got to see where the world situation goes. Because I don't want to be somewhere and then, by the way, you need this new procedure in order to get back on a plane and get home. Otherwise, we're sorry, son. And I don't want to. Could you imagine the stress of that? It's like next thing you know, yeah, you're in some other country and then you have to, who knows, take some probe in order to get out. Forget it. And bird feeding. Actually, I wrote a book on that. A PDF ebook. Basically, my dad he's a birder, and he took me to a place, some park in Ontario when I was a kid, that actually, but the birds are known to feed from the hand, a couple different species. And that kind of got me into it. And then when I moved here to my place in New Brunswick, it was just like, let's get the bird feeder out and try it out. Let's hear. See if I can do that one. I haven't played this one too much. I've only performed it like once online, and I'm going to give it its first live performance, so to speak, on the 5th K160, which I think is the first arrangement of this piece for guitar. Professionally, it depends what you mean by professionally. I mean, I work as one, I guess, because I choose to. But, yeah, I'm pretty much, that's what I do. I have done Drab One. I have done shows in Jersey. I used to spend time there from 2011 through 2013, and I played all the little towns and open mics and did a bunch of shows. And I mean, there's so many different towns in New Jersey. I played tons of them, like maybe 30 different towns. Carmichael, yes, I've done some Irish stuff. A good book to get is O'Neill's Music of Ireland, especially if you want to get into writing. Get O'Neill's Music of Ireland, the Pinewood International Collection, and like the Fiddler's Fake book. And then you can get an idea that a lot of this folk music is like 2-line, like A and B section melodies. And then that kind of gives your ear, it trains your ear to kind of, it gives you an idea of intuitive melody direction and creation, and it gives you, and then with that format you can create your own melodies. And then when you get to the next level, you can try to like take one of the melodies and then modulate it to another key, like in the B section, have it end on the dominant and then restate the theme. Manouche music. Dennis Chang, a friend of mine, he's pretty much a master of that sort of thing. It's one of those things where you're all in or you're all out. I could learn a couple of the pieces and not really improvise and kind of do it a bit. But if you really want to do it, you're all in or you're all out, like bluegrass. So you have to play with other musicians regularly. Otherwise, you're not really playing, manouche or bluegrass. You might be able to sort of play the notes, but yeah. I just do release albums, teach, do the YouTube stuff, and local shows when they come up. I gotta focus for this next one here. All right. Let me pull up the tab here. Okay. All right, let's just do it. There, that's the second time I've played K160 for an audience. The big test comes next Saturday. Room full of people. But that one, I really, I love that one, especially Scarlatti, the way that he writes the music. It's a composition style called partimento. I don't know a lot about it, but it was an Italian school of composition at the time, and the way that it's done, many composers can use the same method, and there's what's called stages of realization within like a skeleton system of voices that when you use the method, you can ultimately continue to have original results. And so Scarlatti rarely repeats himself in his music, and that's one thing he's noted for. Out of his 555 sonatas, there's very little repetition in terms of memes or melodic fragments. They're there, but not a lot of them. And so what I like about Scarlatti is the way that he, in every sonata, he basically modulates, not in all cases, but usually goes to he ends on the dominant and at the end of the first half of the piece, continues the new theme in the dominant, and then goes through an expansion development, and then he basically brings it back to the tonic at the end. But his endings are brilliant, such as like at the end. So yeah, his Scarlatti is probably one of my favorite composers because his music is very concise. It's not a 20-minute expansion of a theme to hint at something over like a 20-minute movement of a symphony. Some of them are short, a couple of minutes. Some of them are 5 minutes. But he just moves from one key to the next. He explores the possibilities, wraps it up, changes the key, and then he hints at previous themes or melodies in the first half of the movement, the first half of the sonata. But then he intelligently recaps them in the other key, and then hints at them when he's modulating through other, in between the keys. It's really something. His compositions are probably my favorite. I like him more than Bach myself. Vixie Maria, a small token of appreciation for everything. Thanks. Appreciate it. And so Scarlatti's music is very cheerful. And then and when he wraps up the piece, a song I never so Florent Person says, For the birds, oh, thank you. Yeah, I'll need that for bird seed because the blue jays are eating like half a bag of bird seed a day. Like I have like this army of blue jay cadets that literally just destroys. Like, I mean, they'll eat everything in the feeder in like a day. Is there a song I haven't played on YouTube? Well, yeah, some of the classical ones here I haven't, such as 175, 160 I've done. Moonlight Sonata I haven't, so I have played a couple. Oh, modulated callbacks. Well, an example is, okay, in 160 it starts off. And then he does. However, when he starts off the second half of the piece, you'll note. So that he hints at that, I guess that sort of rhythmic melodic idiom, which is and then when you play it from the dominant and the second half of the piece, it's, and then he goes somewhere else with it. So you think, oh, this is from that theme, that melodic theme from the first half of the piece. You think you're going to get it, and then he takes it into this like diminished area. So and then he typically will do that in the second half of the piece, where he'll move it around into a couple of different places, and then he'll kind of make it super happy again, and then with this brilliant ending. And so yeah, he kind of covers this whole, he gets dissonant. He uses augmented chords sometimes as well. And what's that one that he does? I forget what it what does it go? 1 second here, I'm trying to remember it. Yeah, right. Anyway, there's a part there where he goes, like, he does this augmented stuff, which normally you don't hear in classical. I guess you do, but I mean, the way that he uses it, it almost gets ugly for a moment, and then it gets totally... here, let me look at the music here, 1 sec. I haven't played that one in a bit, but... So yeah, from K53. Sonata, a strict formulaic method of writing. Yeah, I think so, but Scarlatti does he has his own way of doing it. Like, he has his own formula. Scarlatti is like, he has his own thing going on. In terms of classical players, Marty Friedman actually turned me on recently to Dvorak. He did the American quartet with a symphony, and he showed me a video of him playing it, and yeah. I started thinking I should listen to some Dvorak, because it's a composer, really brilliant, but I never really got into his stuff. But yeah, Paganini, I like Paganini, Scarlatti. There's a Portuguese harpsichord player that I discovered recently, Carlos Seixas. I don't know how to pronounce his name, Seixas. And there's Sonata in D minor, which is pretty cool. Yeah. forget it. Let me just recap that one. I feel like playing it. Okay. Okay, let's try it again. Of it. Hold on. I forget it. Yeah, I need to practice that one again. K53, but I was trying to give you an example of augmented chords in towards the wrap up there. I'll get this one going up for another stream. I need like a day to rehash that one. It's not on the list for the show next Saturday. But I did want to play Sevilla to wrap up. Gotta get the G string ready. Sevilla is a piece that I really enjoy. But this G string always goes out. Okay. There we are, Sevilla. I sort of neglected that piece, and I've been practicing so much of the Scarlatti, but I'll get it down for next Saturday. And I'll bring 53 back up for a future stream, but I've been doing the other 5 sonatas. That one I kind of laid low for a bit. So there's a couple of fuzzy parts in it in terms of my memory of it. Okay, so let's address some of these here. Thanks, Lammy. Appreciate for the support, man. That's how I roll. That's how that helps me be able to just do and play what I like to play without having to play any weirdo marketing games. I can just play what I like, and that's how it rolls. Kin Skywalker Patati. Listen to your songs every day, never took time to donate, never stopped to surprise me with your melodies. So I'm glad you're enjoying them. I'll keep doing them so long as the world keeps spinning without any extraordinary calamity. Drakenback, and how many songs at once can I remember roughly? Like if I want to play them, okay, if I want to do like to the level that I want to play them at, I would say 90 minutes to 2 hours. Beyond that, I can do it, but there's going to be like some resolution fuzziness, because to really bring things to a high level, you have to, put only so much in that room for, pieces I'm currently playing. Because what makes it difficult is that with some of the higher end pieces, these classical pieces, the fingerings are very exact. So I can't just kind of wing it, because then when it gets to a part where it's like, well, I haven't practiced this piece in a little while, and then the exact fingering kind of escapes my mind. You can try to fudge it, but sometimes like there's only one way to do the fingering, left hand, right hand, in order to make it flow. So that's why it's like, so when people request songs that I haven't played in a long time, that's what's going to end up happening. I can play bits of it, but if I wanted to make it performance ready, I would have to really just take that piece, probably let some other piece that I'm playing, diminish a bit in the background, and bring this one up to the forefront, because it'll require in certain parts of the piece like very specific picking patterns and things that those are the parts that you really got to practice to sort of play the piece through. Let me just see here. Scrolling up. Okay. So let me just go through a little bit of 53 with the sheet music before I switch up guitars here. It's the second half of 53 that gets kind of weird. What just fell? Oh, whatever, we'll deal with it later. Pencil. I just want to see if I can hash up some of the parts that I don't know well. Okay, so there. So like when I first tried that out a few moments ago, there was that part in the second half that was like eluding me. You can rewind the stream and look at it. But you see, to bring it back, I just had to like go through the music a couple times. So if I sat with this for like 10, 15 minutes, I could bring that bring that back out, but I would have to like focus on a couple specific areas where the memory kind of fades a bit. But yeah, to aim for more than, so I mean, I would go for about, like the idea now is like 45, 50 minutes of classical rep to start off the show. And then because the technique of the classical and the focus is like, requires quite a bit, then when I switch to the fingerstyle or the other stuff, there's a little bit more of a buffer that I can be, you know, it requires a little bit less energy. So I mean, that's what I find, which when I get to play my own stuff at the end of it, I don't know, I'm a little more loose and, I don't know, can relax a bit more into it. But yeah, like when I first start off the show, that's like the show that I've been doing lately is like first half is classical, second half is a mix of the flat picking and the fingerstyle. Now, is there anything? No, I think we've done the classical. All right, I'm going to switch it up to 7-string. Give me one moment here. Just to, all right, we're done with that. Got to switch guitars and take care of something quick. Give me like 30 seconds. Unnecessarily long chord. 1 second. Oh, right. Okay, now. I muted that. Tune this one up. I got these new picks from Ernie Ball, these designs. Here, let me show you. Okay, we got the two birds, we got the one, and we got the one with the Eye of Horus, or the Eye of Ra. Hold on a second. So, this is one design, the Eye of Ra with me holding a yellow bird. And then the one with two birds. Oh wait, you can't see it? Yeah, no, not so good. I don't know. Anyway, and this other one. Maybe it's blurry, but whatever. I put it on my YouTube community posts. They're medium cellulose. That's what I've kind of settled into after all my pick adventures. I mean, I might use different ones for certain parts of things I'm recording, just to get like a certain attack. But the general one I use is the medium cellulose. And then I go through a lot of them because they get damaged easy, but yeah. Now let me pull up the one I want to, the backing track for the one I want to play. Okay, so it's that one. Oh, wait a second, where is it? That would be, 1 second here, I just got to find this one file. There it is. Okay, found it. Let me just type in one thing here, and I'll get back to you. let's unmute. Okay, so yeah, these are medium cellulose. Warming up with short peace. Oh, probably because Jack Coney. Why did I name it that? I don't know. I thought too deeply about it. Nothing too deep. Oh, right. Yeah, no, I haven't had any crazy neighbors or in the next apartment or landlord stuff. That was a chapter, let me tell you. Wasn't that something? A little bit more of this. How you doing, Nathan? Okay. Let's see if I remember the next one here. that's 7-string etude number 1. I had a request for that one live stream, but I hadn't learned it. I went and relearned it. Definitely influenced by like a Bach Scarlatti thing, especially. Thanks very much, Benjamin, for throwing in the hat. Appreciate it. I'm going to save up, and I'm going to see if I can get Starlink working here. Then I can do, I guess, high definition streams. But it's like $800 to order the dish, and then I need like a mount, and then an Ethernet adapter for it, because they break everything into like little components. So I was like, yeah, you need this, and then you got to buy like these 3 other things for it. It'd probably be about $1,000. But if I can do that, that would solve this low resolution streaming thing I've got going on here. Let me just get the tab up for this one here, because the beginning, sometimes I forget. Okay, I'm just pulling it up here. The next one I want to play. Here Come the Monsters. Now. Pull at the beginning, because there's one part of the beginning that sometimes eludes me. Okay, let's try Here Come the Monsters. Open chords to play the songs? No, not necessarily, no. I mean, no. I would have to say no, that's not how I do it. Now, let's just go for it. Here Come the Monsters. I hope the levels are good. If not, I'll pause and do it again. There we go. Here Come the Monsters with the backing track. See, that's one that works with a backing track. Not all of them do. So we've got here SDF. SEK. What is that? Swedish? Or I don't know what that is. What? Yes, Sweden. Thanks very much. Appreciate it. See, there we go. Here Come the Monsters. That works. Not all of them work, and I've explained this before, but for those that don't know, when you do multi-guitar stuff, is the stuff I've been writing. Like some of it ends up being like recorded art, because to do renditions of it with one guitar, it'll sound thinner, obviously, because it'll be missing harmonies. And then in the same instance, backing tracks aren't always possible, at least in the sense that they can be very complicated. So for example, if the piece starts out with like one guitar and then a second and a third guitar join in, and then those guitars leave and the first guitar keeps playing, and then the other ones join in and out just to like fill out harmony. The difficulty arises in creating a backing track whereby it would just increase the workload. So I'd have to get like probably like a new laptop with like a dual output sound card, and I would have to get 2 editions of backing tracks mastered and prepared, and play them at the same time from within the DAW, and route one of them to the house for the audience to listen to, and then one of them with a click track audible within it that would go into like my in-ear system, which I really don't have other than headphones, but you know what I mean. It would be really, that would just be difficult in order to make, yeah. So the backing tracks that work that I have mostly have another guitar part playing all the way throughout it, so that I can kind of, and I put a few clicks within there just to cue myself up to join in. That's the sort of compromise that I've made. But some of them, to do all of them, is just like too complicated. But yeah. I'm going to switch to the 6th string now. Hold on. Here. G there. Okay. And See you later, Pabst. Oh, I meant to say it's that time of day where like the sun's shining directly through the window in my eye. Can I? I'll get fed up in a moment and go and close the drapes. Okay, let's go up to yeah. Do a bit of this. Thank you very much. Long Polish name that I couldn't pronounce. Don't want to spam the chat. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I think I've dropped a couple. Just not eating later in the evening. So yeah. I prefer that when you say, well, looks like you've been putting on a few, man. Whew, what have you been eating? I introduced some 6-string now, though, for those that are requesting other stuff. I'll get there. Hello, Madzia. If I do recall correctly, Madzia has the bird book that I wrote. I think she does, or he or she. I don't know. Okay, that riff is just something just a riff that I play. Play it again. Okay, so I'm going to do Folk Caprice number 1 here. I just wanted to use that riff to warm up. Because I'm going from a 7-string to a 6-string, I got to like get in the zone of each. See if we can do it. Turn that off, get rid of the buzz. That's one I like to warm up with when I first pick up the 6th string, and when I switch from the 7 to the 6 at a show, I'll do that one, Folk Caprice number 1. I guess because, so Vixie, why don't I stream regularly? I suppose that, there's only so much repertoire that I can have ready. And if I start trying to play stuff that I haven't played in a while, it's like I'm struggling to lift it out of the the corners of my mind. And maybe some of the audience might be okay with that. I can kind of fiddle with the song and make parts of it playable. And because if I stream too much, then it's like, all right, we've seen your show, and it kind of just gets like, it kind of wears it out a bit. And also because I kind of don't like the upload limit that I have, and it kind of like the 360p, the lowest quality you can stream at. It's the only one that the copper wire internet's rural Canadian internet can handle in this area. That is until I save up for the Starlink, which I hope will work. I did a scan. There's on the Starlink app, it will assess your I guess what would it be, your obstruction percentage in terms of like trees and stuff. I have a 2.7% obstruction, which apparently makes it doable. So what would happen is I would do a stream, and then, I don't know, maybe once a half hour, I would disappear for 6 seconds or something like that as it switches from one satellite to the other. Hello, Russia, how's it going? But yeah, no, if you want to contribute so I can get Starlink, I'm on that. Like when I save up for it, I'm getting it. That's how we're rolling. And then I just hope that a 2% obstruction, because I mean there's some fairly tall trees, not too tall. At the same time, I don't want to have to do, get crazy. Then I'm raising $5,000 to like have someone come and use an auger to like drill a hole in the earth and pour concrete in it and erect a 50-foot pole. I mean that's where it gets really expensive, right? Once you start getting poles and stuff. Or I could take the other approach and get someone to come down and cut a bunch of trees down, but then I don't know, then the bird habitat's gone. So maybe it won't be perfect, but it could be okay. So what I wanted to play was, I guess, do a one guitar version of Odd Man Out. I'll do the full version, Odd Man Out, the one guitar version without the other harmonies. So there we go, Odd Man Out. Now with that one, as you can tell, if you heard the original, there's like, harmonies and other rhythms filling it out, because that's just, well, I like to do that when I record. I like to write as though it's like a quartet or a guitar trio or something. May as well, like if you have the studio capabilities, just treat it like a composition. But when I do it live, some of them work better than others. Like I said, in terms of backing tracks and all that. Yeah, that's one I haven't played live before, Blue Rose. Yeah, so the guitars I'm playing, the 7-string and the 6-string, are built by James Malachuk in New Brunswick, and I'll write his web address. It's jmguitars.ca, I believe. And I got the whole works done on this one, like pileated woodpecker inlay design, pileated woodpecker up here, extra thick neck, super thick neck, because I get less left-hand fatigue if the neck is thicker. If it's thin, I find that I'll get palm pain or thumb muscle kind of pain. But yeah, I know, and I also got 11 millimeter almost string spacing, pretty much close to Martin string spacing, which I like, gives me more room to pick. I haven't dropped D now, okay? Hey Dave Barrett, long time. It seems like yesterday when we played the Gibson Guitar Showroom, 2009. It was a different universe back then. We're in an alternate dimension now. I don't know what happened. We went through a slipstream or something. Scale length, what is it? I don't know actually off the top of my head, but it's in... if you check out Odd Man Out or Blue Rose, the videos on my channel, in the details, I have the full specs on the 6-string and the 7-string as well. You can find that in like Molten Anguish or what's the other one? To the Death. If you look in the details, it has the full details of these guitars that he made. I don't have an electric actually. I did for a little while, but it's like in order to get a good sound, you need like a really expensive setup. You need like a Kemper profiler. I was trying to do like one of the Line 6 boards, but it sounds terrible when you do a direct recording. And also when you switch to electric from an acoustic, it's just a different set of muscle groups it's these little finer muscle groups that take over. So it's kind of like when you go to lift up a suitcase, you think it's full, but it's empty, and you're like, whoa, and you lift it up 8 feet in the air. That's what happens if I try to play an electric guitar. I overshoot it. I would need to take some time to really become accustomed with them. Again. All right. So what was the next one I was going to do? Try Winter by the Sea. Someone asked about it earlier. Let me just check if I'm clipping. All right, I'm clipping a little bit. Oh, one sec. There we go. I was clipping, but I think I fixed it. Yeah, actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to close the drapes. It's driving me nuts. Hold on. go. Nice. Finally. Good. We are now... I don't have to deal with that blazing sun in my eye. It's like driving at 4 p.m. or 5, or driving at 3 or 4 p.m. in the afternoon when the sun's like directly in your face. Hold on. Okay, good. Now. Yeah, the line 6, just when you record direct, it just doesn't have that sound that, I don't know, I could not figure out a way to get a direct recording of a tone that I liked with an electric guitar. I just couldn't do it. Could not do it. I was always like, I don't like the sound. One thing here, I'm going to just double check the limit in OBS. Okay. Let's try it. All right, let me just take a look here. So someone mentions, I think it was John, I forget what the name, mentioning something Irishy. So I think that does qualify. Mega Man original soundtrack, probably the second, but I also like Tomahawk Man from, I think it's, I don't know if it's from 4 or 5, I forget which one, but that's a good one. Oh, the guitar, Voss, the guitar thigh pillow. This is the, it's a Dynarette guitar cushion, Dynarettete, the extra large version. I really like it because it, I don't have to sort of have, I can use the footstool, but then that kind of throws your spine a little bit out of alignment. And so this, you can have both feet on the floor, and then this kind of just elevates the guitar. And because it's made of leather and velvet underneath, it doesn't slip. So it kind of secures the guitar in like a playable position, which is quite nice. Danimal, do I get nervous? Oh yeah, I mean, it happens. Like you get little, it's like something happens, or maybe you think about something, or you play a note that maybe isn't the right one, or you feel it might go off the rails, and then your amygdala starts pumping out adrenaline, and then once it's in your system, it's like, okay, you've got a shot of it in your system. You have to kind of play through it, because once the adrenaline starts going, adrenaline's a powerful drug. It once it's in your system, you have to sort of like let it burn through. Your body has to like use it up. And so I try to stop it while it's starting to get going. I'm like, okay, there we go. We got the adrenaline going, and you have to sort of pay more attention to what you're doing and kind of sink into that very part that you might be afraid of. Like you have to go further into pushing the music out rather than getting apprehensive, like, oh no, I might play the wrong note or whatever. But yeah, that's the idea. But yeah, I get nervous. Yeah, I mean, I probably won't ever do what I'm totally capable of doing in front of an audience. There will always be like 10-20% that's like knocked off. Especially when I first started tour, from experience that I've done it, first 6 or 7 shows is basically just me sorting out like my amygdala blasting out adrenaline, and then finally after enough of it, I get better at sort of just sinking into it and not getting anxious. Memorable shows over the years, I mean, they became a blur after a while, but I have good times. I had some really good times touring in Germany. So chroma surfing, yeah, I'll get to that. Actually, sure, because I'm done the 6-string for now. How long have I been going? Let me take a look here. Okay, 2 hours and 20 minutes. All right, so I'll switch over and do some fingerstyle stuff. I'll start with time because Chrome asked for it, and that's actually one that I can play. And I probably could do a bit of goat, maybe not the whole thing, but yeah. So I mean, it all come in terms of making mistakes. The idea is just to control the adrenaline, or at least to, like, once it gets going, you don't let it pull you further downstream. You kind of like acknowledge that it's there, and then you have to kind of, try to stay relaxed, even though your body has just gone this other direction, and so that can be. It can be difficult to feel your body pulling you one way with the adrenaline, but you knowing that, okay, I feel the invitation to do that, but I'm just going to it'll be fine, we're okay. Kind of like resolving to breathe rather than, hyperventilate. Something like that. But yeah, Seattle, that was the one time I played there. Twice I played there. BU, I was mentioning Seattle. Yeah, I played there at, where was it? The Triple Door in 2015, and then it was like Studio 7 in 2011, I think. Okay, so let's switch it up then. One moment. Yeah, I played California in 2011 and 2012. 1 second. Okay. This one. Throw on a bit of chorus. There you go. Let me just tune up here. San Pedro. Yeah, that was, I remember, I think it was, who played there? Donovan Raitt, I think, played at that one as well. I do recall that. Okay, now this was way out of tune. Hold on. Acoustometalis, like maybe a couple of riffs, but I did a stream once, maybe a year and a half ago, where I just practiced that piece for like an hour because everyone was requesting it. Couldn't play it like well, or at least the way I'd like to play it. Let me just check to see if I'm clipping. Am I clipping? Looks okay. Yeah, Acoustometalis. Goes off the rails there, but yeah, I could pull that one back up. It's got a couple licks that I have to practice though to get it good. Thanks, MC Ross. One sec. I got to turn the chorus off to tune. Good. 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 Okay, so time. Yeah, I'd love to be like, wouldn't it be cool though? Because I have like 16, 17 albums out. Wouldn't it be cool if I could just like play any song that I've done on command? Like, I wish I could do that. But, like I say, yeah, no, because a lot of the stuff, there's specific fingerings in it that you have to practice kind of like a classical piece. I listen to my own songs after I record them, and I listen through to make sure there's anything I missed, and if I want to like touch something up or whatever, or if there's like, yeah, I only afterwards for a bit. Let's do time for Chrome, who asked for it. Okay. That's good enough. I thought it was time for a moment. Back to Where Are You? Machiner toe. Machinerto. Have you ever had any severe accidents? Not severe. I had like a string like pop out like after it was restrung, and then it went way low, and all of a sudden the riff was like super low. Like, okay, that's I'm pretty sure that's not the tuning. I've also had it where an amp that I was about to play the red carpet at Gamescom 2014 for like when all the CEOs enter the festival, and like it was like the worst series of events. So at first the amp that AER shipped me wouldn't turn on, so we had to like make a last minute phone call for someone to like bring another one from a local guitar store, because I guess it was damaged during transit. And then my guitar was delayed in Amsterdam, but I did get it. I missed the first show, but because my guitar wasn't there, but they eventually shipped it to me. It caught up with my luggage caught up with me. And then I opened my guitar case, and literally we were outside. A bird crapped inside the sound hole of the guitar. I have a picture to prove it. And I sold the guitar to someone I know, Dan Voth. He can attest to this. There is evidence that a bird actually defecated in the sound hole. So I'm about to play, like it's an outdoor thing, open the guitar case. I'm like, okay, bird flies over, and it's like the perfect aim directly in the sound hole. And I took a picture of there's the label inside the guitar. Yeah, so I was like, okay, so not only was your guitar delayed, the amp doesn't work, we're going to throw it out, we're going to top this off with defecating in the sound hole. See what I mean? Now that was a day. That was like, at that point I was ready for anything. I'm like, okay, so if we're doing that, like whatever, do whatever you like. Let me tune up. Gotta turn off the chorus to tune. I don't know how someone was talking about brown goat. I don't know if I could do it like well, but something. What is this parlay? Why is a brown goat in the title? Nothing, we'll say nothing too deep or anything like that. Probably just something mildly comical. During that time, I was titling songs without too much thought in some cases. So guitar players that I like, some of the guys that I've had lessons with, like Remy Boucher. You should check him out. Also a friend of mine, Drew Henderson, that I've known for actually quite some time, since the early 90s. I like his playing. He's excellent. I liked Paul Gilbert growing up. Absolutely, Paul Gilbert for sure. Jeff Loomis. I always liked Marty Friedman because of his style and his musicality. There's lots. I've listened to lots of great guitarists, and had the fortune of meeting a lot of them, and also taking lessons with some of them. Okay, so when it comes to Peter the Pine Grosbeak, honestly don't know it that well anymore. Like I've got the tab here. I think I played on the Twitch stream. I played a little bit of it, but to be honest, it's not performance ready. But I can kind of just pull up the tab here and do some noodling. But I'll be honest, it's not. Oh, Dortmund might actually be more ready than. Buckethead. Yeah, I saw him play with Guns N' Roses in 2002. Very creative artist. Okay, so Peter the Pine Grosbeak. Let me just shrink this percentage-wise down. Okay, I'll to do 75%. Will that do it? Okay. Try a little bit here. Scroll down a little bit. And then it goes into the groove part. Forget it, but yeah, I would need to practice it to make it performance ready. I could do it in 2 days, or I could probably play it in a couple of days if I wanted to bring it up to performance, whatever. Okay, let me just take a look here. Favorite guitar strings, I like Ernie Ball, Everlast, medium lights, but I replaced the 12 with a 13. I use Ernesto Pala for the Godin multi-axe, and I also use D'Addario hard tension for classical. Hold on a second here. Dancing with Her. So Dancing with Her and Dortmund are probably doable. I'll admit, Peter the Pine Grosbeak, I would have to practice it to get it up to snuff or whatever. As for Level 40, haven't played that since the 2012 tour. Not all the way through anyway. Okay, let's try, what were they saying? Dancing with Her and Dortmund. I can try Dortmund. What's that harmonic that I would end it on? Ah, there it is. There. I did the brown goat Verdinium, but I can do a little bit of it. Alright, I need to retune. I'll try Dancing with Her and Teary-Eyed, because those are the ones I think I can pull out of the hat. I'm playing all these old songs I haven't played in a while. I've been playing all Scarlatti and mostly mostly that. The fingerstyle I haven't really been playing lately. It's been all this new Scarlatti stuff that I've been learning. Alright, hold on. Okay, these strings are a little stubborn when you retune them. Gotta let them settle in, or else they'll snap back to the previous tuning I was in. I've been neglecting the fingerstyle stuff. I practice mostly classical and stuff with a pick. And then usually 2 weeks before a show, I'll start playing the fingerstyle again to get it back. Alright, so we'll try those three in that tuning. Okay. Let's see if it works. right, so Springing Back to Life still sort of works. Retune. Didn't go out too bad. All right, then we'll do Dancing with Her, and what was the other one? Oh, Teary Eyed. Okay, yeah. Thanks for asking for stuff that I know. Okay, now. There we go. I forgot the riff for a second when I first went up there. I was like, where's that dot for the 17th fret? Oh no. Anyway. Sorry, so there's looper pedals. I only have the delay pedal. I use it like just for the one song. Oh, and that song Surrender, but I only played it a couple times. All right, so Teary-Eyed. Let me just see if I can remember that. Not sure. That? Oh, that's what it is. Yeah, no, that's Teary-Eyed. It's from an old demo. I'm trying to remember these songs that people are requesting. I can sort of pull them out of the hat. Banger Integration Therapy, level 30, man. Let's see here. I have the tab folder here of all the stuff. Hold on a second. Okay. just need to look at the tab here. It's been a while. Oh yes, here. I forget. And I forgot the harmonic part. But yeah, that's all the parts that I got that I can pull out of the hat for level 40. It's been so long. 1 second here. I'm just gonna read. Yeah, I don't know the whole thing of that one. Well, what's that chord? And then I'll finish it. Oh, that's okay. Anyway, I'll put it on the list for something to get up for it's on the set list for this next Saturday show, so I haven't been practicing it. So what was the other one? Teary-eyed, and let me take a look. Oh man, there's so many. Ojo, yeah, I've played that one. Oh no, there's like over 100 of them, so I can't. And I used to have them on the set list, but they're just not there. Banger integration therapy. Yeah, no idea. Retro could be doable. Okay, hold on. Plus, I'm starting to run out of juice. I'm like 3 hours plus in. How long is I'm going on? Yeah, 3 hours in. So I mean, it's going to be diminishing returns now. So retro I could probably do. Oh yeah. Okay, so retro I think I remember that one. So that one I did remember, because my set list right now is about like, it's got to be like 95 minutes, but it's like half classical and then 7-string, 6-string, and then some fingerstyle. So he's asking for acoustic metallis. Honestly, have not practiced it. I mean, am I playing with the claw things? No, it's all just nails right now. But yeah, I explained earlier in the stream about the finger picks. I stopped using them a couple years back. Like acoustic metallis, been so long. acoustic metallis, I don't know it anymore. Played Winter by the Sea earlier. Plum and Pear, yes. Plum and Pear, that was because it was recently on a set list within the past year. So, so then, so Plum and Pear, Luke. Yeah, I haven't played acoustic metallis in a long time. I did a stream like 2 years ago where I practiced the piece and played it through. But yeah, as for the Godin, this is the, what is it? The Godin Multi-Act Duet Ambiance Deluxe. It really, I enjoy it for really great workhorse guitar. Really good for just, for doing live shows. And I like the classical scale length and the string spacing and all that. I have one new one I'm working on, but I'm only about 2 minutes into it, and I kind of got stumped, so I have to wait. Time 2 sounds different on it, because I think I changed the way I played over the years from like finger picks on a steel string to fingernails on a nylon, and then only doing flat picking on a steel string, and that's probably why. Winter by the Sea did that one earlier. Plum and Pear. Oh yeah, Country Style. Okay, I'm starting to get tired, so a couple more, and then I'm yeah, because it's like 3 hours in. Okay. Country Style Etude, yeah. That one I can. There, country style etude in C. That one's more ready to play than these relics from the past that I have. Yeah, Motion Potion on a nylon. We'll see on Saturday, but yeah, I'll sometime in the future I'll grab the other guitar and do a Motion Potion thing. But all these other ones, just hey Brian C. Thanks for chipping in, appreciate it. PIAI Trance. Okay, I played that maybe twice live. I'm not sure if I have any footage of it though. Maybe like distorted footage, because I used to wear these glasses with a camera built into it, and I have some of it recorded. Let's see. Okay, that one I can do. Lovely Light, yeah, that one I have. That one I can play. Perhaps was for the best. Never played it live. I actually don't. Sin Simila. No, I don't, because I get too aware, and then I'm like, I have meltdowns. Because like, I mean, the stuff like the greens from the 90s was nothing like whatever they're doing now. The stuff they're doing now is like psychedelic level, grown in a lab or something. I mean, it causes instant paranoia, meltdown. It's not like the stuff from the 90s. I had to actually stop because like years ago, about 10, 12, no, like in 07, I had to stop because it was just too powerful. It was ridiculous. Like literally total meltdowns. Even like 2 puffs, boom, meltdown, can't do it. Because you start perceiving like all of these extra sensations in your body. Like, I mean, you probably have like an unconscious threshold whereby you're not aware of your heart beating and your internal organs moving around and your blood moving everywhere in your body at the exact same second. Because if we didn't filter all those sensations out and we were just aware of every organ and nervous system thing that was going on, we'd just lose our minds, right? So for me on that stuff, I become aware of all of it at the same time. It's just like you can't shut it off. So yeah, Lovely Light I can do. So now you have all this footage of me trying to play these pieces that I can't play because I can't remember them. But Lovely Light, yes. I was trying to read one of the chats when I was playing when I went, and I was like, I got caught in a dual mind mode there, trying to read and play at the same time. All right, definitely winding down now. Starting to get tired. I actually go to bed in like 40 minutes. I read for a bit. I'm reading Greek, the Library of Greek Mythology, and I just finished reading a treatise on human nature by David Hume. And I'm going to read the Prose Edda, Norse mythology. No, the album covers aren't AI generated. They're mostly artists. They're artists from the internet that I've asked to kindly donate their time. Right, Stephen Lawson's saying, "My nightmare." It's 6:23 p.m. I usually start reading at 7 and then go to sleep by 8, and then I'm up at 4:35. All right, so I can probably do My Nightmare. I think I can do it. 4:30 or 5 in the morning. I normally get up 4:30. Yes, I have read The Brothers Karamazov and Crime and Punishment, both of them. I've also read lots of Schopenhauer, I think I've read all Schopenhauer, all of his works, all the essays. On the Fourfold Root of Sufficient Reason, I've read on the World as Will and Representation. I read Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. And what else have I been doing? A David Hume essay on the natural history of religion. What else? I mean, there's so many of them. You should listen. You know who has a really good YouTube channel is Michael Sugrue, Sugrue. He gives the best philosophy lectures I think I have ever seen. They're really good. Yeah, I've read 1984. What else? What's that one with Soma in it? Brave New World and Brave New World Revisited. Scandinavian fairy tales. But yeah, Michael Sugrue has one of the best philosophy lecture channels I think I've ever seen. It's really good. I watch it quite a lot. So My Nightmare. Sure, if you want to try arranging it for orchestra, if it'll work. I'll probably do one more because I'm bent right now. So yeah, I try to do so if I didn't know a song, I'd pull up the tab and at least try to try to maybe pull a riff or two out of the tab. But honestly, like when I want to bring a piece to performance ready, I usually like bring it into the set list and really hammer it out. Because the stuff that I write, I have to like devote myself to it to play it the way, at the level I'd like to, rather than just sort of pull it out after not playing it for years. So hopefully you understand. I have a fairly long set list right now as it is. Let me just think here. Yeah, I'll just do one more. And then I gotta wind down, get ready to read. I'm gonna do two. Thanks, Rain Peterson, for chipping in. All right, so yeah, I'm winding down. It's been like 3 hours. So if you go back and watch the stream, you'll see like I do my regular set list that I'm like prepared to play, and then I kind of just go with what I can in terms of. I mean, I'll try to play stuff that I don't know, but I'm so perfectionist about all the fingerings that I'm like, Well, you know what we could do? So if I get the Starlink and it works, we could do like a thing where maybe once a week I'll do a stream. I'll pick like a song, for example, and maybe one or two, like Level 40 and one other. And then maybe just sort of resurrect old pieces that people want to hear, and then stream like once every 2 weeks. I can practice, and then I can sort of like, rather than adopt a whole new set list, like, you know, bring a new song into the rotation every couple of weeks or something like that. That might work. All right, one more. We'll do the classic. Maybe with some chorus on there. Let me just make sure I'm not clipping. Okay, we're not. We're okay. Here we go. There we go, and that's with a triple flashback delay. It's a pretty good delay pedal. Let's see here. Thanks More X for chipping in, as well as Rain Peterson. So yeah, so basically, a lot of since half of the show that I do now is like classical guitar. That takes up like a big bulk of my practice time, and so some of the pieces that I used to play, they're going to kind of go down on the list. But I do the classical because it helps me keep my playing on its toes, and it's one of the ways that I look to improve myself, because with all these pieces, in the classical world, I learn, fingering ideas, things that force me to learn new, passages or whatever, and I think it's a good pursuit. I enjoy it, and I find it challenging. And so with these two, I'm doing a new Scarlatti arrangement that's coming out maybe in a couple weeks, K55. And so, yeah, that takes up a lot of my memory, you might say. If I were to use the computer analogy, it takes up a good deal of hard drive and RAM space or whatever to process those. So yeah, I appreciate that you like and want to hear some of the older stuff, but I may not be able to play all of it. But maybe with future streams, I could pick one tune, work on it a couple days during the week, and then for example, level 40. And then had that one new song into a stream, and then another one or whatever. It would be cool though if I was some legit jukebox that could play every song I've ever written on command. That would be super cool. I would enjoy being that. But I have a limited. There is a limited capacity that I work with. Even right now, I'm feeling tired. I could do. Maybe a bit, but it just sort of diminishes, and then as I'm playing, I start to drift off and go, oh, wouldn't it be nice just to chill? And you can't be thinking that when you're playing. little bit of 6 a.m. I just felt like playing that. All right, I should sign off. Because otherwise, yeah, I'll save it for future streams. But thanks for coming and hanging out. I kind of decided to do it randomly, so I sent it an email, let people know what was going on, and just decided to do it. I needed the let's say a dress rehearsal sort of for the next Saturday show, where it's like, here we go, play your classical pieces, play the 7-string, 6-string, and then some fingerstyle, boom. And then I just added some jams and riff fragments for people who were requested stuff that I hadn't played in a while to fill in the rest of the time. But so if you guys chip in, I can get the Starlink thing, and then I'll have like HD streaming. And then, because as it is right now, where I live in the country, they only have 7 megabit DSL, which has a really low upload rate. It's like with the old copper wire internet. And so I'm stuck at like 0.5 megabit upload, which is like 60 kilobytes a second max. And that's why the picture is like grainy and, 360 or whatever. But I put it out there in an email. If everyone wants to chip in, the sooner I can order Starlink. I have a neighbor down the road who will help me put up the dish. And I only have a 2% obstruction rate. So which means that probably wouldn't be too much of a, apparently you need 0 to get the best, but it might drop out for like a couple seconds, once a half hour. But apparently with the research I've been doing and the reviews I've read, a lot of people out there say they use Starlink in a situation where they're surrounded by trees and they still get decent speeds. So, yeah, that's the idea. Starlink, it's like, with shipping, it's like $8 to $8.50 for the dish. You have to buy the hardware. And you also have to buy a mount. It's called a short roof mount, a short arm or whatever, and then an Ethernet adapter. So it's like $900 or $950 for like the gear, and then $140 a month for the service. But that seems to be one of the only solutions to the broadband problem of people living in rural areas of Canada and in parts of the US as well, is that the internet's old, for most people in the country, is copper wire DSL. So yeah. Oh, street meat. Yeah, no, if you want, for the Starlink, the thing is, if I want to get really good, $750 US pretty much. All right, so the thing of it, to get the best results, I would need like a 60-foot pole. But that's actually pretty tough to install. Like, you need an auger, you have to drill a hole in the earth, and then you need bags of cement, and then you stick a pole in, you stir the cement into and then you have to use a level to make it straight, and then you got to get something to go up there. And in addition to that, you need to ground it so that you put a pole that's higher than the trees. Next thing you know, you're going to attract lightning strikes. You'll blow the thing off the top of the pole. So you need to ground it properly, which means you drill another hole and stick a wire into the earth, so that way when the lightning strikes it goes into the earth and it doesn't blow through your wall and fry your modem to bits and whatever. Sitting next to your modem. You see what I mean? Well, it's not too bad, Gerbinos. Yes, I've heard that. But it's about 2%. So, it all depends as well how many satellites there are in the area. So I'll try it out. You can send it back if it doesn't work, but may as well try something. So I think we're good. Yep, I'm ending the stream now. It's done. Yeah, I'll try out the Starlink, see if it works. But yeah, thanks for coming and hanging out. And next Saturday's the show. So that's what I'm going to be practicing for this week. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for coming in, hanging out. It's like my bedtime in 12 minutes. Good night, folks. Take care.